I think that philosophers have got something potentially important to do here. So I think a lot of people who are grieving, and I can't give you sort of clear data on this, this is just from talking with people and from reading testimonies. People will say that, they're worried there was something wrong with them. Is this normal? Should this be happening? How, I can't make sense of this. This is utterly strange. Do other people feel like that? And perhaps this sense of anxiety, or, and to put it crudely, being worried about going mad, can exacerbate the suffering of grief, and perhaps indeed feed into the trajectory of grief. So I think a degree of self-understanding is beneficial here, at least the recognition that others go through this. Also, I think this kind of work, it does help us in distinguishing experiences of grief that we might want to refer to as typical in all their diversity, from those where people may require exceptional forms of support. I'm loath to refer to them as pathological. I'm uncomfortable about that. But I think we can, with philosophical work, distinguish different forms of grief and the ways in which grief might be said to go wrong. Something else we can really do is emphasize the extent to which grief isn't an emotional experience of an individual. It's not something endogenous that just unfolds in some deterministic fashion. Grief as a process is incredibly fragile and susceptible to various changes and perturbations. And it depends to a huge extent on, if you like, a kind of scaffolding, a support structure. And to a large extent, that support structure is dependent upon other people. How one grieves depends on whether there is an enduring sense of connection with others, whether others do provide certain forms of support, whether certain sort of social structures do remain in place. So I think a broader understanding of grief can help us to recognize that and help us to realize that people who are grieving, do depend on others.